Thank you, George. And with that, let's bring in our CBN News chief political analyst, David Brody. David, so both candidates hit the campaign trail today. President Biden earlier this afternoon appeared before a surprisingly enthusiastic crowd given what happened last night. He's in Raleigh, North Carolina. He told reporters there that he still has what it takes to defeat Trump in November. Although the media concedes Trump outperformed Biden on the debate stage, but not without hitting him for lies and false claims. Regardless, though, David, Trump world has got to be feeling pretty positive after last night.
Well, there's no doubt about it, John. And, the headline is obviously going to be about how it was a catastrophe for Biden. And there's no doubt it was. But let's also remember that Donald Trump turned in a pretty darn good debate performance the other night, on Thursday night, because he was able to kind of be himself, right? He's always going to be Trump. No one's going to tell Trump not to be Trump. But he was very disciplined, and I actually thought the format worked very well in Trump's favor. Muted mics at times, and this idea that there's no studio audience, which can kind of get Trump in the mood to say more. But this kind of kept him in control and disciplined, and I thought it was extremely effective.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it didn't work out as well for President Biden, and a lot of the guidelines were proposed by the Biden camp. Speaking of which, the Biden camp says it raised $14 million on the day of the debate, rolling into this morning. Those numbers, though, David, can't outshine the shadow of last night's poor performance in Atlanta and the chatter that Democrats want Biden to step aside. David, what's the process for that to even happen, and who comes to your mind as a possible replacement to take on Donald Trump if that were to happen?
Well, the process begins and ends with Joe Biden. If Joe Biden, and in essence, by extension, Jill Biden, his wife, if they don't agree that this is, it's time to kind of hang it up, if you will, then nothing's going to change. So it begins and ends with Joe Biden. Having said that, if Joe Biden somehow, some way decides to not go on, then you're looking at potentially Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer as well, the governor of Michigan, and a few others. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois could be a potential. So you've got three of those, I think, that could be a potential if Biden decides not to run.
So, David, the next big thing to happen, of course, we've got the conventions, the GOP convention happening in a couple of weeks in July. But a lot of people are waiting for Donald Trump to unveil who his #2 pick is. When do you think that might happen? Do you think it might happen next week, or is he going to kind of want to ride the wave of his performance during this debate and let that kind of be the headline?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a surprise all the way up until that week at the convention, probably midweek of the convention, possibly earlier in the week, but definitely that week. Leave it to Trump, right? It's all about not just optics, but must-see TV and surprises, and that's the way Trump likes it. He likes to have people continue to guess. And so my guess is we will indeed see that convention week. Once again, Tim Scott, clearly one of the favorites, J.D. Vance as well. I don't see Marco Rubio. I know he's been talked about, but I think it's going to be more J.D. Vance or Tim Scott. There's always a chance, of course, there's a surprise pick out there. Ben Carson is a wild card in all this. We'll see, John.
All right, David Brody, CBN chief political analyst. Always appreciate your time and your insights. Thank you so much, David.
Thanks, John.